heart and I'm ready for love. Let the stormy clouds chase everyone from this place. Come on with the rain, I've a smile on my face. I walk down the lane with a happy refrain, just singing and singing in the rain. Ta-da. So the genesis of the Vancouver Ukulele Circle actually begins in Yorkshire, where I am right now. I made a visit here in 1996, and I'd been playing the ukulele for 6 years by then, and I'd been listening to George Formby, so I got quite good at strumming. I couldn't strum like George Formby. He does this really syncopated sort of a split stroke, it's called, and I could not get that no matter how hard I tried. So on a visit here at home, I phoned my mum and I said, can you find somebody from the George Formby Society? Maybe I could learn how to play like them. And she didn't really know what to do, so she phoned Radio Sheffield, and they had interviewed Dennis Taylor, who was the president of the George Formby Society. So he was a really friendly guy, and he said, yeah, you got to come along to Murfield to the Yorkshire Ukulele Society meeting. We meet on the 3rd Tuesday of every month. So I went along to that meeting. It was in the back room of a pub. There were about 50 or 60 people there, and it was just a night of George Formby performances. Everybody did 2 songs each, one in the first half, one in the second half, and they would every now and then play a tape, and did have a thrash, which was just everybody on the banjo ukuleles all singing and playing at the same time. And whether you like George Formby or not, the energy and the joy of this meeting, I just left with this massive smile on my face, and I thought it would be awesome to have something like that in Vancouver. And typical me, I didn't do anything, for a few years, until the summer of the year 2000. I met Virginia Issei, and she had bought the same kind of ukulele as me, a Larrabee, from a local music shop, and she'd got my name from them. We got together, and I told her about this idea I'd had to start a ukulele group, and she said, that's a great idea. She says, if you run it, if you lead it, I'll put an ad in the Georgia Straight. Yes, we weren't doing things on the internet in those days at all. So she put that ad in the Georgia Straight, and 9 people came. So there were 10 of us altogether, including me. So that was it. I was committed. So let's begin with Hello, Dolly. Oh, hello, Dolly. Well, hello.
Hold on 1 sec.
Okay, Craig. That's just the warm-up. I'll do the end of the song, and then by the time Dolly will never go away again. Here we go. Oh, hello, Dolly. Oh, hello, Dolly. It's so nice to have you back where you belong. You're looking swell, Dolly, I can tell. Dolly, you're still glowing, you're still crowing, you're still going strong. We feel the room swaying for the band playing one of your old favorite songs from way back when. So take her rap, fellas, find her an empty lap, fellas. Dolly will never go away again. All right, everybody whistle. Waiting for the bands playing one of your old favorite songs from way back when. So take her rap, Ella's find her an empty lap. Ella's Dolly will never go away. Dolly will never go away. Dolly will never go away again.
Disconnected.
Someone,
Nice.
someone's unmuted. That was lovely, Ralph. Thank you. Someone's unmuted. Who's unmuted?
Who's unmuted? Banish them.
Jasper Cole and Galaxy S9.
This is getting strange.
I think it's somebody's phone talking to us. Right.
Keep going.
I'll keep going. Well, I assume you all sounded fantastic. So, yes, we had 10 people at that first meeting. Craig, if you could bring up the picture of those meetings. We took this photograph for at that event. And
Oh, come on.
come on, Craig, get it together.
Sorry, 1 second.
That's all right. I'll just keep talking. You keep doing that. So I'll tell you about some of the people that were there at that meeting. We had Paul Hooson, who's a professional clown based on Bowen Island. He's there sort of, towards, he's on my left as you're looking at it. That's Paul Hooson. And then right next to me is Colin McCubbin. And he's a collector of national guitars and ukuleles and instruments, like a massive collector. He's met Mark Knopfler. Then just in front of us, there is Eleanor Dunn. She is the wife of Michael Dunn, the well-known Vancouver luthier and player. There's Brian Lones. And then over on the far left, I really want to talk about Robin. Robin worried me at first. It's quite common now to talk about people that are transgender and to see them in the media. But Robin arrived, quite obviously to me, a middle-aged man in a wig and wearing glasses like my grandma used to wear, and quite flamboyant, funny, fun, always there with something to say. And I thought she was great, but I was a bit worried because I thought, oh no, here I am. I'm starting this ukulele club. I want people to come. Are they going to think it's a place for weirdos? That sort of was in the back of my mind. It turned out I didn't need to worry. All she did was add to things. She was, like I say, always there with a laugh and a smile. And in those days when we were meeting at Pacific Heights Co-op, there were not that many of us, so it was a much more intimate gathering. She didn't last too long though. I think we're about 3.5 years into the ukulele circle when she suddenly passed away. And there was only Brian, who was on the far right. He went to her memorial and came back with the news that it had been a very sparsely attended memorial, just a handful of people, nobody from her own family. People said, she had been ostracized by her own family. And that really opened my eyes and showed me what spirit she must have had, just to always be creating laughter and fun, even though she had obviously a very difficult time herself. So this next song is for you, Robin, wherever you are. It's called Bring Me Sunshine. Whoops, there we are, the right way up. Good job, Craig. I think we're going to start this song in B flat, and then we're going to switch to the key of C for the rest of the song. Are you up for it? Say yes, Ralph. Good. Bring me sunshine in your smile. Bring me laughter all the while. In this world where we live, there should be more happiness. So much joy you can give to each brand new bright tomorrow. Make me happy. through the years. Never bring me any tears. Let your arms be as warm as the sun from up above. Bring me fun, bring me sunshine, and bring me love. Bring me sunshine in your smile. Bring me laughter all the while. In this world of bliss, there should be more happiness. So much joy you can give to each brand tomorrow. Make me happy through the years. Never bring me any tears. Let your arms be as warm as the sun from up above. Bring me fun, bring me sunshine, and bring me love. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Make me happy through the years. Oh, never bring me any tears. Let your arms be as warm as the sun from up above. Bring me fun, bring me sunshine, and bring me love. Bring me fun, bring me sunshine, and bring me love. Hey, good job. Nice handshaking, everybody. So somebody who was very important that wasn't in that photograph of the first meeting is, of course, Wendy. And I know Wendy's here tonight, this morning for me. And I think Wendy came to the second meeting, as did Guy, who's also involved tonight. And Wendy, of course, has been pretty much an attendee for every meeting since that one, and has been the person who has done all our media operations, including getting the website set up and the email list and all of that stuff that I would never have bothered doing. So a very important job that she's done in the background, not seen on stage very often. And so, yeah, in those days we were meeting at Pacific Heights Co-op, and one of my neighbors there was Ron, our bass player. And I don't know if you know this about Ron. You might know that he is a lawyer, but he comes from good musical stock. His father ran a Western swing band that traveled around Western Canada, as far as I know. Ron can probably give you more details. Anyway, Ron picked up a bass and came along to the meeting in the co-op. It wasn't too far for him to travel, and it's just been a welcome addition to supplying the nice chunk of the bass there to keep us tied down. And there was somebody else that came in those days. I haven't seen her much in latter years because she moved out to Maple Ridge. But Pam Burns came over from North Vancouver. And she did a lovely thing. She learned that my next door neighbor, a little girl called Lisa, had cancer, and it was quite serious. And Pam decided that she would do something nice for her. So every month she would write a story about the hollow tree fairies. These are the fairies that live in the hollow tree in Stanley Park, and she would get a story all typed up nicely. She would go to the charity shop, buy one or two gifts and some decorations, and then before the ukulele circle meeting started, we would go to Lisa's door. We'd knock on the door and then hide round the corner, so we couldn't actually see Lisa, but we'd hear a little voice go, "Mummy, the hollow tree fairies have been again." And she'd collect her package of goodies and take them into the house. So Pam did this for months, and it was quite amazing because Lisa's mum told us that Lisa became psychic. She started to know what gifts she was going to be getting. So you know, one time she said, "Mummy, I think I'd like to have a new dolly." And there'd be a doll there. Pam had bought a doll from the charity shop. But the spookiest one was where she asked for a purple bracelet. She said, "Mummy, I think I'd like a purple bracelet." And the next night we arrived and a purple bracelet was there. And for Lisa, it was no surprise. She knew what was going to happen. So yes, let's do a song for for these magical people. This is Black Magic Woman. Okay. Intro again. Sing. Got a black magic woman. Got a black magic woman. Black magic woman got me so blind I can't see. That she's a black magic woman and she's trying to make a devil out of me. Don't turn your back on me, baby. Don't turn your back on me, baby. Don't turn your back on me, baby. Stop messing around with your tree. Don't turn your back on me, baby. I just pick up my magic sticks. And okay, get ready to sing. You got your spell on me, baby. Got your spell on me, baby. Yes, you got your spell on me, baby, turning my heart into stone. I need you so bad, magic woman, I can't leave you alone. Yeah, nice. So, my musical journey personally on stringed instruments began with the 5-string banjo. I bought one of those when I was a student, and I was a student in Liverpool, and that's where I met Sarah Graham, a bona fide folk singer from North Carolina, and she taught me all these Appalachian Mountain songs and tunes on the banjo. But after a few years, I discovered that I was getting just as much, if not entertainment value on a ukulele, and it was way easier to carry around and easier to play. And what happened when I switched to the ukulele was my personal repertoire completely changed. I experimented with different types of songs, and I discovered that the sort of rock and rolly kind of songs that were mostly 3 chords were nowhere near as interesting as the songs from that 20s, 30s, and 40s period. So I got into songs from that era. So that's what I brought to the ukulele circle. One of the problems was that nobody was really willing to perform. I had thought it was going to be a performing group, but I quickly discovered that everybody was a beginner, and they were all sitting there looking at me, waiting for me to do something. So I had to sort of scramble and you know, I went to the video shop, and every month I'd have a video segment of something, anything that featured the ukulele. So it might be Marilyn Monroe in "Some Like It Hot," or that bit from a Thousand Clowns where they sing "Yes Sir, That's My Baby." Joe and the Volcano, 51st Dates with Adam Sandler. We tried it all just to fill time in as we sort of slowly accumulated songs. I would also have special guests. And oh, I see Paul Houston's arrived. Oh, I see. Oh, he's typed the message. Ooh, that's great. Hey, Paul, thank you. So I don't do Zoom very often, as you can tell, so it's a bit of a thrill for me. So yes, guests included, you know, James Hill, who was, you know, just starting his solo career at that time. We had Paul Moore from Israel. Jim DeVille did a workshop. The most memorable part about his visit was that people paid to do his workshop. I collected the money, and then afterwards we all went for a drink at the Century Plaza Hotel. And Jim said, "Oh, you should give me the money now." And I said, "All right. Oh, I don't have it. It must be back at the co-op." So I went all the way back, looked through everything, couldn't find it, and then realized it had been in the back pocket of my jeans, and somewhere along the way it had fallen out. So I walked back to the hotel, looking at the ground the whole way, and found that envelope on the corner of Burrard and Davy Streets, one of the busiest pedestrian intersections in Vancouver. And there was the envelope with $300 still in it. So that was good. and another guest was Bruce Bissell. He had approached me while I was performing at a hotel gig. He was the DJ there, and he said, "Oh," he said, "I like your personality when you play. It reminds me of this guy I used to travel with, Tiny Tim." I said, "Yeah, I know Tiny Tim. He had been Tiny Tim's road manager in his heyday in the late 60s and early 70s. So he came along and just told us what it was like personally to be hanging out with Tiny Tim on the road. And it really had a lot of fondness for him. And they were both record geeks. And so that was good. So, yeah, we had guests and we had videos. And we all got to know each other and had a good time. So let's try this next song, Whispering. You could probably notice I'm not doing many songs out of the book. I started off looking at all the songs we did, but you know, we've had many years of doing those songs, and I just thought, just for me, I'd just like to do something just a bit different. This is one of those old Tin Pan Alley songs from 1920, Whispering. Honey, I have something to tell you, and it's worthwhile listening to. Put your little head on my shoulder, so that I can whisper to you. Whisper while you cuddle near me, whispering so no one can hear me. Each little whisper seems to cheer me. I know it's true, there's no one dear but you. You're whispering why you'll never leave me. Whispering why you'll never leave me. Whisper and say that you'll believe me. Whispering that I love you. Sing it again. Whispering while you cuddle near me. Whispering so no one can hear me. Each little whisper seems to cheer me. I know it's true, there's no wrong here, but you're whispering why you'll never leave me. Whispering why you'll never leave me. Whisper and say you'll believe me. Whispering that I love you.
That's a beautiful song.
A good one.
Ah,
Yeah, so I was saying, is that you, Paul?
Ah.
Hi, I heard your voice. Hey, you're not supposed to be unmuted. Really good to hear you.
I love that song.
It's a good. Well, it reminds me of when you and I would go to the hospital, and
Yes. Yeah.
you had some songs there. Some of
Yeah.
those were really old.
And also a Banfield Pavilion for the elderly. That was magic. You were magic in that
Well,
place.
I think that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the one. That's where
You
we
were
did the old
so
songs.
great there. Just
Yeah.
unbelievable. Yeah.
So for those of you that don't know Paul, who's you know, is supposed to be unmuted and is not, he's a really naughty boy. He's actually a clown. He's a professional clown who entertained every week at Children's Hospital. I think it was every Thursday, and I walked around with him one day. So we went around the wards, and I watched him at work, and absolutely amazing. And he had all these, he's dressed as a doctor, and you know, with the big shoes and the whole thing. But I had a ukulele with him as well, and yeah, brought a lot of love and magic to those kids, and laughter, of course. So what's so good that you got my email, did you, Paul? Is that why you're here? Oh, you're unmuted
We've
now.
muted him.
Good stuff.
Hi,
All right.
Paul. Paul gave me this sheet music probably about 18 years ago. I remember him well, so I'd just like to say hello.
Nice. Oh, this is awesome. Yeah, I'm so glad we're doing this. So as I mentioned, yeah, these are the kinds of songs I was attracted to on the ukulele. You know, 4 strings, 4 fingers, and it's nice to have those chords that are moving and changing all the time. So yeah, people started to bring song sheets. We didn't have a book or anything. It became more and more disorganized. And we just tried out different songs, and some stuck and some didn't. You know, I learned that the songs that worked, they had to be known by people, they had to be singable, they had to be playable, and have some lasting resonance. So let's do this one from 1966. These boots are made for walking. Not an old one, but it's kind of cool, this one, because we get to do the bass run on the 3rd string of the ukulele. So start off on the 3rd string, 9th fret. So find that 9th fret. There's usually, on most ukuleles, there's a dot on the 10th fret. So it's the one just before that. You do 2 plucks on the 9th fret, 2 on the 8th fret, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and just 1 pluck on the 2nd fret, then 1 on open, then the A chord. So let's do that slowly together, starting from the 9th fret. So 2 plucks until the 2nd fret, then it's just 1 pluck, and then open, and then play the A. So let's do that together. So that run is going to keep on coming into the song as we sing it. So yeah, this is one of those that, well, I don't know about these days, but you know, back in the, you know, if you were around in the 70s and, you know, 60s, 70s into the 80s, you would have heard this song somewhere for sure. Right, here we go. 2, 3, 4. You keep saying you got something for me, something you call love, but confess you've been messing where you shouldn't have been messing. Now someone else is getting on your best. These boots are made for walking, that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. You keep lying when you ought to be truthing. You keep losing when you ought to not bet. You keep saying when you ought to be changing. Now what's right is right, you ain't been right yet. Come on, these boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. You keep playing where you shouldn't be playing. And you keep thinking that you'll never get burnt. Ha! Well, I just found me a brand new box of matches. Oh yeah! And buddy knows you ain't had time to learn. Altogether, these boots are made for walking. That's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. Are you ready, Boots? Start walking. There you go. Woo. So, oh, I'm used to louder applause. This is great. Oh, that's it.
Yay!
Good
That was fun. I like that song.
stuff. All right. Oh, I'm
I like your style, Ralph.
Bravo, bravo.
Oh, that was good. Thank you, everybody.
You rock, Ralph.
So, hey, thanks, Ed. So, yeah, I'm talking quite a bit about those early days at Pacific Heights. It wasn't the ideal meeting place after a while. It was handy for me because it was the common room of the building that I lived in, near the intersection of Burrard and Pacific. And but what was great about it was that with there being such a sort of a small number of people, typically between 15 and 25, for the first 4 years, everybody knew each other. And that's where I discovered we actually had 3 published Canadian authors in the group, which I just thought was so great. Like what was it that attracted them to the ukulele at a time when it was only just beginning to get noticed in the public eye. So that was Sarah Ellis, Anne Fleming, and Cynthia Nugent, who's here, not just a writer, but an illustrator, an excellent one. You might have seen her books in the lobby of the Sylvia Hotel if you've ever been in there, about the cat at the Sylvia. So yeah, so I'm just saying that because I thought it was cool. And just on a writerly note, I'm going to tell you the story about this next song called Eleanor by the Turtles. There is another song by the Turtles in the songbook, which is Happy Together. Now, back in the 60s, it was pretty famous that groups would get absolutely shafted by the record companies, and Turtles, they got it worse than anyone, really. In fact, when they decided to end the group, they discovered that the 2 main guys, Mark Volman and Howard Kalin, weren't even allowed. It signed this away in the contract. They weren't even allowed to perform under their own names. So they performed under the names Fluorescent Leech and Eddie, which were names given to them by Frank Zappa. But how this song came about was because the record company was saying, come on, we had a smash hit with Happy Together. We want another one. We want another Happy Together. Write us another one. And Mark Volman's going, come on, you know, these songs don't just, you know, you can't just buy them at 7-Eleven or something like that. You know, this just doesn't happen. But they kept on at him, Go on, give us another Happy Together. So it just in a sort of a state of passive aggressiveness, he wrote the crappiest song he could. And this is what we got. You got a thing about you. I just can't live without you. I really want you, Eleanor, near me. Your looks intoxicate me. Even though your folks hate me, there's no one like you, Eleanor, really. But it's the chorus where he goes, Eleanor, gee, I think you're swell, and you really do me well. You're my pride and joy, etc. Who puts etc. in a song? Eleanor, can I take the time to ask you to speak your mind? Tell me that you love me better. You know, he was writing absolute crap. He knew it, and they recorded it, and it became another massive hit, just like Happy Together. So let's do it. This is one where your bar chords are really useful to have. So, you know, when you play that G sharp, you know, bar it at the 3rd fret, you can just slide it to the G. So if you're playing the G, you know, you can do it where you bar at the 2nd fret. So useful to be able to do. Otherwise, it's a little bit tricky in parts. But I can't hear you anyway, so I don't care. You got a thing about you. Oh, hold on, that didn't seem that. You got a thing about. Does this sound familiar? I would do this at least once at every ukulele circle meeting. I'd just start singing in a different key to what I was playing in. Let's try that again. You, I'll get it. It'll come to me. A thing about you. I don't live without you. I really want you, Eleanor. You got a thing about you. I just can't live without you. I really want you, Eleanor, near me. Your looks intoxicate me. Even though your folks hate me, there's no one like you, Eleanor, really. Eleanor, gee, I think you're swell, and you really do me well. You're my pride and joy, etc. It's better than this at rehearsal. Honest. Eleanor, can I take the time to ask you to speak your mind? Tell me that you love me better. I really think you're groovy. Let's go out to a movie. What do you say now, Eleanor, can we? They'll turn the lights way down low. Maybe we won't watch the show. I think I love you, Eleanor, love me. Eleanor, gee, I think you're swell, and you really do me well. You're my pride and joy, etc. Eleanor, can I take the time to ask you to speak your mind? Tell me that you love me better. Eleanor, gee, I think you're swell. Eleanor, gee, I think you're swell. Hey, well, I hope you did better than me. That was awful. Oh, I'm so sorry about that.
Your singing was great.
Thank you. I'll keep practicing the ukulele. Maybe I'll get the hang of it one of these days. So yeah, so we outgrew Pacific Heights. It wasn't that great. The parking was difficult, and people had to buzz to be let in. So we started to look around for a public venue, and the one that we discovered was Original Joe's, which was at the Canby, which was at Canby and Broadway. We're now up to May 2004. And it's no good going back there because Ron Usher reliably informs me that it's a hole in the ground now. The nice thing about Original Joe's was that it was a bar that also served food. So we'd get there and we'd eat together. So we'd have a meal there. I would bring my amplifier and microphone. So open mics were really getting going now. People were performing. And I do have one vivid memory of the open mic there at Original Joe's, which was, oh, okay. These messages keep flashing up, and I just realized I haven't been reading most of them. I just read that one. So, yeah, we did the open mic at Original Joe's, and one fella got up and played his guitar there. And nobody said anything, but I sensed there was like a bit of an uncomfortable feeling that somebody should get up at a ukulele circle and sing a song with a guitar. So I made that a rule. Whatever you do has to involve a ukulele somehow or other. So that's that. And I'm just going to, while that message is just fresh in my mind, somebody's saying, Ralph, tell us about what you're doing in the UK. Do you have a ukulele circle there? Well, let me just briefly fill you in. Yes, I've come back here to look after my parents. Both of them have dementia, but physically they're doing all right, and actually doing a lot better because I'm here. Because my mum has anxiety as well, and the fact that I'm around and I'm close now is a big weight off her mind. Ukulele wise, there is a ukulele circle in Penistone, which is held above a pub, and it's run by a guy called Chris McShane. And I knew him when I was a kid, and I was getting my first clarinet from the music store. Chris was working there in the music shop, and he's a fine musician. And he got into the ukulele. He's mainly a ukulele teacher. So he runs that club. And I go along there sometimes just to join in and perform. But I'm not leading it in any way. Although Chris and we have a duo. So watch out for us. McShane and Shaw is who we are. We do a lot of original songs. We're a bit of a music comedy duo in a lot of ways. We like to write funny songs, but we also do instrumentals and other things too. So I saw there was a message there to take the music down in between the songs. Did you see that message, Craig?
We're not doing that. We're going to keep things rolling.
Okie dokie, we'll keep it rolling. I will let you do your thing, and I will do my thing. And my thing right now is the next song, which is called Sway. And this is a song that I just show people. This is just brilliant songwriting. It's from the 1950s. And, a great song is not a poem with music, but music and the words fit together to make something that's, in separate from both or works both together. And this one, when that first line comes, those first few words, when marimba rhythms start to play, right away, you're in an exotic location, and there's something, there's something afoot. Dance with me, make me sway, like a lazy ocean hugs the shore. We're definitely tropical. Hold me close, sway me more. So there's just this sense of intimacy in a sunny place. Bending in the breeze, bend with me, sway with ease. You can feel the wind in the palm trees. When we dance, you have a way with me, stay with me, sway with me. And then we have the bridge, or the middle 8 bars, as it's known by Tin Pan Alley songwriters. And this was a technique that Irving Berlin discovered. We take the song somewhere else musically, and you do that, but you also take it somewhere else lyrically. So from this closeness, this intimacy, we're suddenly like pulled back, and we can see the dance floor. Other dancers may be on the floor, dear, but my eyes will see only you. You can see the band, and you can see the glitter balls spinning. Only you have that magic technique. When we sway, I go weak. And then we're back to that intimacy. I can hear the sound of violins. Just a fantastic song. So we're going to, you can, if you want to, you can just play A7. But what's really cool is to go from A7 suspended, which is middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and you just keep lifting that off, and while leaving your index finger on. Your index finger is playing the A7, and the middle finger on the next fret along. So it's going to go like this. Again, index, oh, I'm sorry, middle, index, D minor. Let's try that again. Middle, index, middle, index. Introduction. 1, 2, 3, go. Da 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 da. Let's sing. When marimba rhythm start to play, dance with me, make me sway. Like a lazy ocean hugs the shore, hold me close, sway me more. Like a flower bending in the breeze, blend with me, sway with ease. When we dance, you have a way with me, stay with me, sway with me. Other dancers may be on the floor, here but my eyes will see only you. Only you have that magic technique. When we sway, I go weak. I can hear the sound of violins long before it begins. Make me thrill as only you know how. Sway me smooth, sway me now. Do that again. And sing. Other dancers may be on the floor, here but my eyes will see only you. You have that magic technique. When we sway, I go weak. I can hear the sound of violins long before it begins. Make me thrill as only you know how. Sway me smooth, sway me now. You know how. Sway me smooth, sway me now. You know how. Sway me smooth, sway me now.
Woohoo!
That was
Yay! Thank you. I
That
love
was
that.
lovely. I love that song.
It's a
I
good
love
one.
all great old songs. My God.
So yeah, that spell at Original Joe's lasted about a year, just over a year. Is that somebody Zoom bombing? I was hoping somebody would Zoom bomb, shout something at me. Oh well. Yeah. So yeah, that spell at Original Joe's lasted about a year and a half because 2004, you may remember, was the year of the hockey strike, and it was predominantly a sports bar. So once the hockey came back on TV, the place filled up with hockey players. They didn't appreciate the ukulele playing, and we could hardly hear ourselves above the cheers every time the Canucks scored a goal. So we needed another place, and I think our move to our town was a rather auspicious one. That happened in November of 2005, and it was this year that was my the year that I sold the most of my ukulele DVDs before YouTube came along and spoiled everything. But people were really getting into the ukulele at that point. And the other great thing about our town cafe is that for the first time we were at street level. So we had those big windows on the corner of Broadway and Kingsway, usually all steamed up because of all the people that were packed in there. And so often, you know, like people would walk past and stop and look in and see us all, you know, playing ukuleles. And next thing they'd come in, like people started playing ukulele because they'd serendipitously, you know, found us there. And we were there for a good long time. It was a great place. The sound system was a little bit ropey. Ron always helped us get that happening. In fact, I often brought my own amplifier as a backup just in case we needed it. A memorable night was the Olympics. During the Olympics, we had an Olympic evening where we had an Olympic torch, which was a flashlight duct taped onto a ukulele that we passed around. Something else I was remembering was the kazoo player, Boswell. Oh my God, he would play the kazoo to every song. And you know, my way of dealing things, I have never lost my rag with anybody ever. That whole 17 years, I always, you know, dealt with everything in a calm way, no matter what I was thinking on the inside. But he wouldn't stop playing his kazoo, and the hints got heavier and heavier, you know, until I was basically, you know, shouting at him, you know, stop it. And in the end, I had to institute a 2-song kazoo rule. It honestly sounded like a mad bee had been let loose. So he was only allowed to play his kazoo for 2 songs, and that was it. You just had to be firm with him in the end. That was so. Yeah, get your kazoos out. We're gonna play a song with the kazoos. And yeah, quite fittingly, there we were, right on the road. So we're gonna sing On the Road Again. On the road again, just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends. I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again, going places that I've never been, seeing things that I may never see again. I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again, like a band of gypsies, we go down the highway. We're the best of friends, insisting that the world keep turning our way. And our way is on the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends. I can't wait to get on the road again. Kazoo! down the highway. We're the best of friends, insisting that the world keep turning our way. And our way is our road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. Life I love is making music with my friends. I can't wait to get on the road again. I can't wait to get on the road again. I can't wait to get on the road again. That's it. No more kazoo.
Yay.
So yeah. I have never felt this wide awake at 4 a.m. This is fantastic, everybody. I've got such a buzz on that. So yeah, got to mention Tom Saunders, who took over from leading the ukulele circle when I had to leave in 2017. I first met Tom at the Roadhouse Eatery. He had seen an ad that there was going to be a ukulele player there. This was in White Rock, and there was a moment in the concert where I was just retuning the ukulele, and as I was just tuning the G string, I said, "Hey, give me a G," and Tom blew across his beer bottle, and it made a perfect G note. And so I knew right then that we were meant to be comrades in arms. So yeah, so Tom is a left-handed guitar player who got himself an Oscar Schmidt ukulele and started coming to our town with his buddy Jason. The two of them, if you ever saw the show Robson Arms, they were the opening musical moment at the start of that show. There'd always be a short song about a minute long. And every now and then, like Tom would continue that at the ukulele circle. It'd come along with a song that was just exquisite, about a minute long, sung through once, you got it, and it was done. And my favorite one, I think he only ever did it the one time, but I'll never forget it. It was about the espresso machine at our town, which would inevitably go off if there was a time there was a quiet romantic moment. You'd hear the espresso machine cranking into action. So Tom had this song where he's singing, beautifully and eloquently about the espresso machine, and then the chorus for everybody to sing along with was wonderful stuff. Tom is taller than me. He's about 6'5", 6'6". I'm nearly 6'4", and together we did this song called "Short People." This is people have been talking about Black Lives Matter, and this is my favorite. It's not, to me, it's not even an anti-racism song. It just shows up the stupidity of racism. So well done, so well written by Randy Newman. So here we go. Short People. Tom and I, we had a lot of fun performing this one together, and it was videoed. It was put on YouTube. And it was like a couple of years later, Tom emailed me. He said, "Ralph, can you believe it? Someone's written a message, and underneath the video, it said, what are you guys doing singing these, songs of hate or something like that? Like, you just didn't, And I emailed back to Tom. I said, yeah, it was just a matter of time before one of them climbed up to the keyboard and started typing." All right, let's do it. Short People. 2, 3, and channeling Tom's strumming style. Sing. Short people got no reason. Short people got no reason. Short people got no reason to live. They got little hands, little eyes. They walk around telling great big lies. They got little noses and tiny little teeth. They wear platform shoes on their nasty little feet. But I don't want no short people. Don't want no short people. Don't want no short people around here. Short people are just the same as you and I. A fool such as I. All men are brothers until the day they die. It's a wonderful world. Short people got nobody. Short people got nobody. Short people got nobody to love. They got little baby legs that stand so low, you gotta pick them up just to say hello. They got little cars that go beep, beep, beep. They got little voices going beep, beep, beep. They got grubby little fingers, dirty little minds. They're gonna get you every time. Well, I don't want no short people. Don't want no short people. Don't want no short people around here. Around here. Ah. Oh yeah, good stuff.
way to go.
Yes, so we had so many good times at our town. What a great place. It just got packed. You know, I remember I met Carol there. That was the first time Craig got up to lead. You know, it was really hard to find, you know, anyone to lead the ukulele circuit. You sort of had to have a combination of confidence and, you know, just ability to start a song and end it. Really, there's just some one or two clear things that you have to be able to do, and it takes some guts. So yeah, my hat's off and thanks to anyone who's tried doing it and helped out in that way. But it did get so popular. I think the venue legally could hold 75. I sort of forget what the most was. It was at least 110. The number 130 is in my mind. I don't know if it was up that high, but definitely 110 packed into a venue for 75. You know, it was illegal. It was uncomfortable. You know, people were coming. They were a bit grumpy because there was literally nowhere even to stand. You know, it was just too much. So it was Marnie Jameson at the Rogue Folk Club suggested that we make the move to St. James Hall. So we did that, and yeah, it needed Rogue volunteers from the Rogue Club to set up tables. We needed to pay a sound man. We had lighting there. We paid, you know, we had to pay rental for the venue. Catherine, I've seen Catherine. She's here tonight. She did the door. And yes, suddenly we could get a lot more people in, a lot more comfortably. It was a very different vibe because now we had a proper stage. You couldn't, being on the stage, you couldn't quite hear everybody in the room quite so well. There wasn't that closeness, that togetherness that we had at our town. So, you know, with the different venues, you win some, lose some. That's just the way it goes. And with the movie, we were in the media, and that December we got the largest turnout we ever had. There were well over 230 people. The balcony was full, and you know, so that was the peak as far as attendance went. But it wasn't long after that that other ukulele clubs started up. So Gary started his club in North Delta, and there's others have started, which is great. You know, it's blossomed, it's spread, it's flourished. And so, you know, people don't have to necessarily travel so far, and the ukulele club was no longer the only game in town. And like I say, that bigger stage has given players a chance to test themselves on, you know, on a stage with lights and sound, and it's quite a terrifying thing if you've never done that before. So yeah, the performance time has been really something for people to just try out all sorts of stuff. You know, Boaz has done, you know, some remarkable performances. You know, along with Craig and others. There's been, in fact, it's naughty of me to mention names because there's been so many, and you know, I'll leave people out. But Boaz has come back again and again with, you know, really cool arrangements. So I think that's worthy of a mention for sure. and we've had so many great nights, Halloween nights where people have dressed up and we've had themes. The volunteers have been fantastic. Like I say, Catherine working the door and everyone that's come. Yeah, and I just have to thank everyone that's done their part in keeping the ukulele circle thriving, and as well as, you know, especially to Tom, who stepped into my shoes when I left, and all the others like Carol and Heather, and that have also taken leadership roles, especially at this time of Zoom, which has cast another completely different aspect onto the ukulele circle, and in, you know, and in some ways it's worse, but I'm discovering tonight it's actually really cool in its own way. And so that's that. I'm going to stop talking. Let's sing another song. It's another Willie Nelson one, and Waylon Jennings, Good Hearted Woman. The only reason I picked this one is I was strumming it. I thought, you know, this one's just got a great rhythm. It's just got a great vibe. And rhythm is what the ukulele is about. It's what the Hawaiians were attracted to when they got the instrument in their hands and discovered that it just fitted in with the traditional dances, the mele and the hula. So yeah, we've got a proper rhythm instrument here, so let's use it. 1, 2, 1, 2. She's a good-hearted woman in love with a good time in mind. She loves him in spite of his wicked ways that she don't understand. Through teardrops and laughter, they'll pass through the world hand in hand. She's a good-hearted woman, loving a good-hearted man. Well, a long time forgotten dreams have just fell by the way, and the good life we promised ain't what she's living today. But she never complains of the bad times or bad things he's done. She just talked about the good times they've had and all the good times to come. Everybody sing, she's a good-hearted woman in love with a good time. Ah, she loves him in spite of his wicked ways she don't understand. Through teardrops and laughter, they'll pass through this world hand in hand. Oh, she's a good-hearted woman, a good time in mind. Well, he likes the bright life, the nightlife, and good time in friends. When the party's all over, she'll welcome him back home again. Oh, she don't understand him, but she does the best that she can. This good-hearted woman, loving a good time in mind. Oh, she's a good-hearted woman in love with a good time in mind. She loves him in spite of his wicked ways that she don't understand. Through teardrops and laughter, they'll pass through this world hand in hand. She's a good-hearted woman, loving a good time in mind. Oh, she's a good-hearted woman, loving a good time in mind.
You.
Woohoo!
Hey, Ralph,
Well,
do you have original sound on? Just
I,
kidding.
I do.
Perfect.
I'm just a bit loud. Maybe I was a bit loud, a bit close to the microphone. I didn't want to mention it, but I'm also hearing a bit of my, weirdly, just the ukulele that's a few seconds behind, but it just seems to come in now and then. But I don't. We're at the last song now. It's too late to do anything.
Yeah.
I can't believe I can't believe the time has gone past so fast, and I don't know how I'm going to get to sleep after this. I thought I was going to be absolutely knackered by now, but
You can
I'm
stay
not.
with us.
I'm wide awake. I just want to do more. So yeah, we're coming to our last song now. So we began.
You don't have to leave.
You don't have to.
Well, this is all I've planned for, guys. So we've got a whole lot of other songs too. Maybe we can do it
You
again
can
sometime.
stay as a participant, Ralph.
Well, I will stay for a little while, but I know I will need to sleep as well because I got things to do tomorrow. But yeah, I'm going to stay around for the chat room, definitely at least, and maybe for a couple of songs. So we began with "Singing in the Rain" that was introduced by Cliff Edwards, Ukulele Ike, and we're going to end on a song that was introduced by him because he got the part of Jiminy Cricket in Walt Disney's Pinocchio. And legend had it, right? So I don't know how familiar you are with Cliff Edwards, but he was a massive star. They reckon he sold over 74 million records in his career, and he just played the ukulele, and he invented scat singing. He called it effing, not effing. That's something different. But he would imitate the sound of a kazoo. He'd do this sort of moaning sound for his instrumental. And he became a massive star. Like the Gershwins wrote songs for him. But he also had problems with alcohol and drug addiction. And so, the end of his life didn't go so well. And legend had it that Walt Disney made him sign a contract that he would never use the voice of Jiminy Cricket in any of his future performances. And the only problem was that the voice of Jiminy Cricket was also his own voice, and he never performed again after that. It's not true. It's a load of rubbish. In fact, the Hollywood rest home where he died and all his medical bills were being paid by the Disney Corporation. So they were actually looking after him at the end of his life. But he had no relatives. No one came to claim his body. And it was just a newspaper reporter who was visiting her own mom in the rest home. And she learned that Jiminy Cricket had just died. So she mentioned it in the newspaper, and so he actually did have a funeral that people attended. So anyway, there you go, another sad ukulele story for you. It's not all fun and laughter, playing the ukulele, but we can always dream, can't we? Say yes, Ralph. That's what we're going to do now.
Yes, Ralph.
Yes, Ralph.
Yeah.
Yes, Ralph.
Oh.
Yes, Ralph.
You naughty renegade unmuters, how dare you?
Yes,
Oh, good for you.
Ralph.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So we're going to sing When You Wish Upon a Star. We'll start the intro by whistling. Those of you that can whistle. Even if you can't whistle, just pretend. When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you. Your heart is in your dream. No request is too extreme. When you wish upon a star, as dreamers do. Fate is kind. She brings to those who love the sweet fulfillment of that secret longing. Like a bolt out of the blue, fate steps in and sees you through. When you wish upon a star, your dreams come true.
Huzzah! Hey, boy.
God bless you all.
Amazing, amazing, amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ralph.
Thank you, Ralph.
Thank you.
That was fantastic.
Ralph.
That was awesome, Ralph.
Hope we can do it again. Thank you,
Do
Ralph.
it again.
Hey, thank you so much.
Oh, that was awesome.
Thank you all for being here. And yeah, I'm so glad that email that I wrote just a few hours ago worked, and you showed up. It's so nice to see so many old friends. This has really been such a special and memorable thing to do. I was nervous about how it would go, the technical aspect, but it's worked out great. Thanks, Craig, Carol, Ron, and Boaz, everybody involved in the Zoom thing, because that is a mystery to me, and it's worked.
Thank you so
great.
much, Ralph.
Thank you.
See you on the 30th.
So,
So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a breakout room. And so Ralph is going to go into a random breakout room. We don't know which one that Carol's going to set up right now. And so if you don't want to be involved, you need to take a break or whatever, just shut off your screen and microphone, mute yourself and whatever. And we'll maybe have a few minutes break after that, and then we'll get started with round 2 just after that. So Carol, you can take it away.
Right. So everyone, again, if you're not going to participate, don't enter the room and then just stare at your screen. It's creepy for the other people.
Yeah, it's like this.
Yeah.
Like what?
Even if you can't see us, we can see you. All right. So, and then the lucky group who will get Ralph is breakout room 3, which was randomly assigned.
That must be.